I've always thought sunsets were supposed to be romantic. That soft orange glow sinking behind the hills, the lake shimmering like a promise, the gentle breeze brushing my hair. But tonight, as I stand by my kitchen window, glass of wine in hand, I can't stop shaking. I keep replaying what happened, what I let happen, and how it's all spiraling out of control. My name is Rachel. On paper, I have a perfect life. A kind husband, David, who loves me so deeply it should have been enough. A house by the lake, morning jogs together, pasta dinners in cozy candlelight. For years, I thought I had everything I needed. But love is more complicated than pretty photos and comfortable routines. I met Ethan last year at David's birthday party. David had invited him, his gym buddy, the funny, easygoing guy who could charm anyone in seconds. I still remember the first moment our eyes met. It was electric, the kind of instant pull that you read about in silly romance novels but never believe is real. His eyes lingered on me a little too long, and I hated how much I liked it. I tried to ignore the attraction. I was married. I had vowed to love David forever. But there was something about Ethan, his wild energy, his crooked smile, the way he leaned in a little too close when he spoke. Every touch, every accidental brush of his arm against mine sent jolts through my body that I pretended not to feel. A few weeks ago, I saw Ethan at the grocery store. I told myself it was harmless, when we laughed over which wine was cheaper or which peaches were juicier. I told myself I was just being friendly when I let him help me carry the bags to my car. But when his fingers touched mine, my heart practically exploded. I invited him over for coffee that afternoon. Coffee turned into wine, and we sat out on my porch talking about everything and nothing until the sun went down. I felt like a teenager again, breathless and giddy, my skin humming just from being near him. Tonight, as I wait for David to come home, I can't help but touch my lips, remembering Ethan's kiss. It was just a few hours ago. I can still feel his hands in my hair, his lips devouring mine like he hadn't eaten in days. I let him undress me, each layer slipping away like secrets I was finally willing to tell. I felt so alive, so wanted. It was intoxicating, terrifying, and so wrong. I hear the door open, and almost drop my glass. David's voice floats in, gentle and warm, and my stomach twists with guilt. "Hey, beautiful," he says, coming up behind me, pressing a soft kiss to my neck. "Hi," I whisper, forcing a smile. We sit down for dinner. I push pasta around on my plate while he tells me about work, about some new project, about how the neighbor's dog chased a mailman again. I nod and laugh in all the right places, but inside, I'm replaying Ethan's touch, his whispered promises. I feel like a fraud. Later, when David showers, my phone buzzes. It's Ethan. "I can't stop thinking about you," the message says. My fingers tremble as I type back, "Me neither." It all started to unravel so fast after that. We found ways to see each other, a coffee shop here, a quick lunch there, and then eventually a small cabin by the lake that he rented just for us. The first time we were alone there, it felt like stepping into a dream. The lake stretched out beyond the window, the trees rustled softly, and I felt like we were the only two people on Earth. Ethan kissed me as soon as I walked in, and I kissed him back, desperately, as if I'd been starving for him my entire life. He undressed me slowly, his fingers brushing my skin like a gentle storm. Every nerve in my body came alive, and I wanted nothing else but him. That first time in the cabin, we moved together so slowly at first, savoring every second. But then the urgency took over. Our bodies pressed together, breaths tangled, hands gripping tight. I felt tears slip down my cheeks because it was too good, too real. Afterwards, we lay together, my head on his chest, his fingers tracing circles on my back. I felt both safe and on the edge of a cliff, ready to jump. "Does David know?" Ethan asked, his voice soft against my hair. I froze, my heart stuttering. "No," I finally whispered. "You can't keep lying to him forever, Rachel," he said, kissing my forehead. "You deserve to be happy." Those words echoed in my mind for days. I knew he was right, but I didn't know how to face the wreckage I was creating. One evening, I was standing in front of the mirror, wearing a lace dress Ethan loved. David came into the room. I didn't hear him at first, but I felt his eyes on me, and when I turned, I saw something in his expression I had never seen before. "Going out again?" he asked, his voice low, almost eerily calm. My hands shook as I tried to zip up. "Yeah, dinner with the girls," I lied. David stepped closer, and I could barely breathe. He placed a hand on my shoulder, heavy and warm. "Rachel," he said softly. "I know." My knees buckled. I turned to him, tears spilling before I could stop them. "I'm so sorry," I sobbed. He knelt with me, our foreheads touching. "I love you, but I can't be the man you need," he whispered. His forgiveness broke me more than his anger ever could have. That night, I drove to the cabin, my vision blurred with tears. When I walked in, Ethan knew immediately. He pulled me into his arms before I could speak. "He knows." I cried into his chest. "What now?" he asked. I shook my head. "I don't know. I can't just leave everything behind." He didn't push me for answers. He just held me, kissed my hair, and whispered that he would wait. We spent the night together, but it felt different this time. Tender, slower, as if we both knew the world outside had finally caught up with us. When I woke up in his arms the next morning, the sunlight slipping through the curtains, I felt both heavy and light at the same time. I watched him sleep, tracing my fingers along his jawline, memorizing every detail because I didn't know how many mornings like this we'd have. When I got home, David was packing a bag. "I need time," he said simply. "I'll stay with my brother." I tried to apologize again, but the words felt useless. He kissed my forehead gently, like he always had, and left. The door clicked shut, and I sank to the floor, sobbing into my hands. My phone buzzed on the table. It was Ethan. "Are you okay?" he asked. I stared at the message, my chest tight. "Not yet," I finally typed. "But maybe someday." I put the phone down and stood up. The house felt so empty without David, without the noise and warmth I had taken for granted. I walked to the window and looked out at the lake. The water glittered in the afternoon sun, and for a moment, I closed my eyes and let the warmth touch my skin. I don't know what comes next. I don't know if I'll end up with Ethan, or if I'll find myself alone in this house, piecing my heart back together. But I do know one thing. I can't keep hiding behind a perfect life that wasn't real. I can't keep lying to David, to Ethan, and most of all, to myself. There's so much pain ahead, so many conversations that will break me all over again. But there's also hope, a small, flickering hope that maybe after all the tears and apologies, I can finally figure out who I am and what I truly want. I take a deep breath and open the window, feeling the breeze wash over me. The world outside feels different today, like it's daring me to step out and face it honestly. I don't know if I'm ready, but for the first time in years, I feel like I'm really living, raw, terrified but alive. And maybe that's enough to start over.